My name is Bennet. I'm with the Amherst Public Shade Tree Committee, and I'm here today to talk about how to plant a tree. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the turf out of the way so we can dig a hole that's roughly twice the size of the root ball here. Move the tree out of the way. Just take off the top layer of turf. So we want to get the turf out of the way so that it's easier to dig the hole and to get the grass. We don't want the grass to grow after we plant. We don't want the roots to pick up and keep growing after we plant the tree. We want it to be clear of grass as much as possible. All right, so now that I've got all the turf out of the way, I'm free to dig a nice deep hole. I'm going to dig it. I'm going to target digging it so this fits in just perfectly. Ultimately, we want the top roots to be just above ground level. So now that we've dug the hole, it looks like it's about the right depth. We're going to measure it really quickly. Our ultimate goal is to have the top of the root ball being about 1 inch or 2 above the plane of the yard. So what I'm going to do is, this is not scientific, I'm just going to take a stake about that high, and this looks about right, knowing that we're going to end up, as you'll see later, we're going to take off maybe like 1 inch of this soil on the top, and we'll explain why in a moment. All right, so it's very important before you plant the tree. It may seem obvious, but not everybody does it. You need to remove the bag. Often they come in burlap balls. You need to remove that before putting it into the ground. So I've just got a knife here. Take it. It's okay to let the tree lie on its side on the ground. It's totally fine. Just do it gently. It's also good to loosen up the roots once you do it. Don't go too deeply, but it helps just air out the roots a little bit. Get them ready to take root in the ground once we plant it. All right, the other thing you want to do at this stage is look for circular roots. They grow in a circle around the root ball, the result of having been in that bag for some time. And when you do find them, I don't see any on this root ball, but when you do find them, just trim them off and throw them away. At this stage, before we put it in the hole, is make sure to remove extra dirt off the top of the root ball to expose, just barely expose some of the top roots. We do that to make sure that the roots, once planted, have a chance to grow into the ground rather than being stuck here on top, in which case sometimes they'll circle the base of the tree, and that's just not a healthy thing to have for growing. So we're ready to move the tree into the hole. As we do it, keep in mind that these can be very heavy. So just test it out. If it's too heavy, make sure to get somebody to help you out. Otherwise you might strain your back and not be able to plant trees for a while. All right, now it's in. Clearly it's not straight up, so we need to adjust that, and we'll do that just by adding some dirt at the base. But still, it looks like our height is just about right, so we're in good shape here. So I'm just going to walk around, make sure it looks straight upright from every angle, or as straight as we can get it. And that looks pretty good. So we'll start filling in the dirt around. So we've kind of got the dirt where we want it. Make sure always to pack it in. That's a easily overlooked part. You don't want it to, because the dirt eventually will settle over time. And when it settles, you want to make sure that it's there's a sufficient amount of dirt to support the growth of the roots. So this is looking pretty good. We'll smooth it out. Nice. Make sure you don't pile up dirt or mulch around the base. Make it nice and clear. The other thing, of course, that you want to do after is, as soon as possible after you plant, is give it plenty of water. So we'll come back later and do that. But make sure to water the tree. All right, so the final step here is to mulch the tree. And we put the mulch on mainly just to keep grass and weeds from growing around the base, to make sure that when it rains, the tree gets all the water, and also to protect it in times of drought. A nice layer of mulch, a couple inches thick or so, helps retain the moisture even when the tree is undergoing a real dry spell. So we're just going to do that. Smooth it out with our hands. Be sure as you do it not to make a mulch volcano, which is to pile the mulch around the base of the tree. Sometimes you see that. Definitely something to be avoided. That's a mistake. We're going to kind of make a little concave here so that when it does rain, the water flows directly to the tree and to the base of the root. There we go. Now we water it.